I use foil ramekins because it's easiest. I don't have to clean them and I can just throw them out. You want to start off with 10 egg yolks. I doubled the recipe because I'm making 16 of them. You can cut this recipe in half if you only want to make 8 of these. But we like it here. Me and my husband really enjoy it, so I am making extra. So this recipe is for 16 servings. So start out with 10 egg yolks, and I'm going to go ahead and finish cracking those, and I'll be right back. For those of you who have a hard time getting the egg yolks separated from the white, I'm going to show you an easy way to do it. Crack your egg on a hard surface, and then what you're going to do is what my grandma taught me. Swap from each side, and as you're doing that, carefully, the white will come out. Now, if I'm making coconut macaroons the same way I make these, then I will save my egg whites and use it for that, but I do not need it. So, there's your yolk, and you just put it in the bowl. I have my 10 egg yolks in the bowl. Now I'm going to add 1 cup of sugar. I'm going to mix that together real well. I'll be back when this is done. So the egg mixture should look like this. Again, this is 10 eggs, just the yolk only. So 10 egg yolk and 1 cup of sugar. Now you're just going to set this aside and leave that go for a minute. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to turn my cream on to simmer. This is heavy whipping cream and I used 6 cups. Like I said, that will make 16 servings. There is a half a teaspoon of salt in there. That's what you see floating on the top. So 6 cups of heavy whipping cream and a half of a teaspoon of salt. Now while we're waiting on the cream to come to a simmer, I'm going to go ahead and turn the oven on to 325. And just wait. I'll be back shortly. And I had that to where it was simmering and it's now hot enough. I turned it off. As you can see, I almost started to boil over. So now I can add some liquid vanilla extract. Now you want to add about 1 tablespoon. I add a little bit more just because I really like it. So just a wee bit more. All right, now for the next step. So this, I have the egg yolks and the sugar. What you want to do is slowly take this cream mixture and dump it into here. If you do it too fast, the eggs will scramble. And of course, I made a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. Not a big deal. You gotta put it in slow, though. Just a little bit out of a time. More batches. Alright, let me set this to the side. this is what your mixture is going to look like. So again, I have 10 egg yolks, 1 cup of granulated sugar, a little over a tablespoon, excuse me, of vanilla extract, and then 6 cups of heavy whipping cream brought to a simmer. I make sure that I take the heavy whipping cream off before I add the vanilla. And I also add about a half a teaspoon of salt to the cream while it's cooking. So now I'm going to go ahead and put this mixture into here, which I'll probably have to do in 2 batches, and it's just going to make it easier for me to pour into the ramekins. Now I have the stove on 325 and it is already preheated and ready to go. Fill each one of these up. Alright, so now what we got to do is my water gets hot enough for me to be able to do this, but if your water doesn't get hot, then you want to go ahead and put some water in a pot like this one and get it real hot before you do this. But like I said, my water gets hot enough to where I'm able to do this. We need to put these in a water bath before I put them in the oven. And if you see how much steam is coming off my water, it gets extremely hot. So I don't have to heat mine first. I'm just going to turn it down and put some water in this pan. Just like so. And I'll show you here in a minute how much I put in there. I make sure that they're almost halfway up the ramekin. The water's halfway up the ramekin. Maybe a little bit less, but you got to put them in a water bath. I'm going to go ahead and stop there so I don't spill any when I put it in the oven. So that's what it looks like in the water bath. And I'm going to go ahead and pop these suckers in the stove. I'm going to put them in there for about 30 minutes, and then I'm going to check them after 30s. But depending on your oven, it might take 30 to 35 minutes. Just check them. The inside, the very middle of these, should still be a little bit jiggly, kind of like if you were making a cheesecake. So you want to make sure that you don't overdo these. I've done that as well before. It's kind of trial and error. I think just about everybody that makes these the first time actually overcooks them a little bit. But I'm going to get these in, and I will be back when they're done. Again, put them in at 325 for 30 minutes, and then come back and check them. You can even check them to be just on the safe side at 25 minutes. I'll be back. Alright, they are done. And as you can see, I did put them in the water bath, so they stay in there, just like a cheesecake would. And I'm going to let these cool a little bit so I don't spill hot water on myself and get them out. So here's what they look like, and I am going to show you how to finish the topping. Take some sugar, sprinkle it on top. Hard doing this one-handed. Alright, now I'll shake this just to kind of even it out a little bit. And I burn the top. Now, if you don't have a torch, you can just put it in the broiler for a minute. That'll also get the sugar to crisp up and burn. There we go. Homemade creme brulee. They are now cooling down. I have done one. I'm going to show you another one, how to top it. Take some sugar. You can use brown sugar, flavored sugar. I'm using regular granulated sugar. Sprinkle the top. Now I'm going to shake it just to kind of get it even. And we're going to burn it. If you don't have a torch, you can just put it in the broiler for a minute. That will still burn the sugar, putting it in the broiler. There you go. Now I only do the ones that I'm going to eat. I will wrap the rest of those with foil, and when I'm ready to eat, that's when I put the sugar on and torch the top. So I have one for me and one for my husband.